Hi, I'm Nina G, and welcome to another chair yoga video. Did you ever want to just hit the pause button in the middle of your day? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We'll hit the pause button, we'll practice some yoga, and then we'll ease back into the rest of our day. Please grab your chair, and we'll get started. We'll get started on our chair, and I'm going to connect my feet to the floor with this block and slide my body back so that the thighs are supported by the seat of the chair. And once we get here, let's take a few circles with those shoulders, just noticing any tension that's resident there. See what we can do to loosen that up already. Maybe do one at a time. Go as fast or as slowly as you like. And then come into stillness. Come into stillness. Allow the palms to rest in your lap. And let's tune into our breath. You are welcome to soften or close your eyes. And notice how your body feels today. And here we are in our first pause. Just taking a moment to check in with ourselves. And we've had some time to take a few breaths, a few mindful breaths. And so now we're going to start to move as well. So let's move to the edge of the chair. I'm going to put my block underneath the chair and connect my feet to the floor now. Pushing into the feet so that I can sit up a little bit taller. Nice tall spine, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. Let's take an inhale, fill up. And as we exhale, engage those core muscles to bring the belly back. Separating the shoulder blades, dropping the chin, coming into our cat pose, seated cat. Inhale, fill up again. And as we exhale, we'll round that spine. We're working with that smooth, slow, even breath. What happens if we add a little pause at the end of that exhale? So take the exhale, let the breath empty, and then pause for just a moment where there's neither inhale nor exhale. And then inhale again, fill up. So that pause is just a fraction of a moment. It doesn't have to be long, but just be aware of we're no longer inhaling or exhaling. And then continue. And we'll do one more like that. And come back to that nice tall spine. Let go of that breath with the pause at the end. Just breathe normally. And we'll release those hands down by the side. Now, you might put one hand on the seat of the chair, or you could put it to your lap if you like. I'm going to start working with my left hand. And as we inhale, I'm going to take that arm up and over, take a little side body stretch. Now, this could be a long arm. It could be a cactus arm. It could be a hand to your shoulder, to your forehead, somewhere in there. Just working with that side body stretch. That's going to be the inhale taking us here. And then as we exhale, we're going to float that arm all the way back down, using those abdominal muscles on the exhale. So we're going to do that again. And this time we're going to stay for 2 breaths, really working with those abdominals. When you're ready, let's take the inhale, reach the arm up. I can use my hand here by my side. Stay here for the exhale, engaging those abdominal muscles. I can soften the elbow. Take another inhale here. And as we exhale, we float the arm down, sit up tall. Now we're going to stay for 3 breaths. Inhale. Stay here for the exhale, engaging those belly muscles. Stay for another inhale. And another exhale. One more inhale. And as we exhale, we'll float the arm down. Sit up tall. Okay, last time on this side, 4 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, working the abdominals. Fill up on the inhale. Stay for the exhale. Third inhale. Third exhale. Inhale. Exhale, float that arm all the way down. We'll pause here for a moment. Let the hands rest in the lap. Notice how things feel. Notice the differences between the sides. And then we'll go to the other side. So again, that hand might rest on the edge of the chair. It might rest on your lap. It might just dangle. That's up to you. I'm working with my right hand this time. I feel really stable on my chair. My sitting bones are firmly on this chair and my feet are firmly on the ground. Let's just try the first one. We let the inhale reach the arm up. It's a side body stretch. See how this feels. See where you want this arm to be. This side very likely is different than the first. And then as we exhale, we engage those abdominals and float the arm back down. Okay? 2 breaths. Inhale. Stay here for the exhale. Take another inhale. And exhale, float it down. And you might be going a little bit faster, a little bit slower than I am. That's fine. 3 breaths this time. But really working with those abdominal muscles, engaging them. This time we go for 4 breaths. And this also helps to empty out those lungs, right? It really helps with that exhale. Last one. Float that arm down. Go slowly. Don't give in to gravity. Control that arm all the way back down. And once your arm is down, bring both hands to the lap. Pause. And check in with those sensations throughout the body. Let's take a circle or 2 with our shoulders. And then we'll turn our attention to our feet. So I'm going to back up just a little bit. And the first thing that we're going to do is just pick up let's pick up one heel and lower it, and then the other heel and lower. Take your time. We can tie it to the breath. Inhale, lifting the right heel, and that smooth, even exhale lowers it, and then the other side. So we're not using momentum, and we're not just dropping our feet down, but we're slowly lifting and lowering that heel, engaging the ankle, the calf muscle. And now, having done all of that with such control, let's completely forget about that and just tap the feet and the heels as fast as possible. You can pick up your whole foot if you like, or you can keep the toes on the ground and just lift the heels, just bringing a little bit of motion into the feet, ankles, shins, all the way up the lower part of the leg, into the thighs as well. And go as fast as you like for as long as you like, or as slowly as you like for as long as you like. And then we'll slow things down. Notice that radiant sensation in the feet. That's always fun, and it doesn't take a lot of effort, right? But wow, lots of tingling happening now. Let's bring our feet a little closer together now. My feet are together. I'm going to pick up the toes now. So my heels are on the ground. I'm picking up the whole front of my foot, not just the toes. And then I'm going to open my toes into the letter V, the shape of a V. And then I'm going to bring them back. And then I'll put them back down. So you may notice different sensations now in the feet and the ankles and into the shins. Come back and put that down. Be sure that we're sitting up tall, shoulders are down from the ears. Bring that V back together. Put the feet back down. We'll do one more here. And lower the feet. Check in with how that feels. And we'll just pick up one leg, doesn't matter which one. We're going to make some circles with the foot. Now, if you're unable to pick up your foot, you can leave the toe on the ground and just make circles with the heel. Or you can pick up the foot and make some circles away from the floor. If it helps you, you could even hug behind the thigh if that feels good. I kind of like it here better. And then let's let the foot go in the other direction. Do a little point and a little flex. And we'll put that foot back down onto the earth. And now take a moment to notice where those sensations are. Perhaps they've gone higher up into the leg now. We move to the other side. Again, you might decide to pick up the foot. It's not very high off the floor. I mean, I'm kind of scraping it with my circles. Or I could leave the toes down and make some circles with my heel. We can also bring our hands behind the thigh. We've got a lot of options here. Make sure you let the circles go in the other direction. And then we'll do a few points and flexes. And then put that foot back down to the ground. Again, noticing the sensations now on this side, perhaps feeling sensation higher up into the leg and the hip. You may or you may not, but it's really important that we pause and notice that, because we can make these changes ourselves. Yoga is awesome. Okay, bringing our attention now to our hands and wrists. Let's make a real soft fist. So you could just let the fingers be soft, and we're going to make some circles with the wrists. So my fingers are soft. This is not a tight wrist or tight fist. And then I'm going to go in the other direction. And now let's let the fingers be long, and you can just kind of wiggle them as you make those wrist circles. And then go the other way. So including the fingers in the movement as well. And we may want to reach our arms forward, palms up, bringing fingertips to elbows. Try that again. And then open them wide. So elbows are wide, and let's do some rowing forward here. And notice that the rib cage moves in a little bit of a twisting motion here as well. And then let's row backwards. And then pause. Let the hands rest back in the lap. Take a breath here and notice. And we're going to move to standing now. So a lot of times I cut the video here and then I splice it together once I'm standing, but I think it's important that we stand up correctly. So I'm going to move closer to the edge of my chair. I've got my feet a couple fist distance apart. The weight starts to shift. I can bring my hands to the seat of the chair and I push into my feet to make my way to standing. So there we go, a safe way to stand. Now once we get up, we want to clear our space, so I'm going to bend down, pick up my block, and put it on top of my chair. And we can use the back of our chair for support. We can also use this wall behind us. Now, I don't like people to have to move furniture. So if you can just move to the other side, terrific, and do that. I can't do that, so I'm going to move my chair. But if you just want to walk around it, that's fine. Once you have a clear workspace, come to mountain pose. Let your shoulders come down from your ears, stand up tall, and pause here in this stillness to notice sensations, starting at the feet, moving up to the ankles, the shins, perhaps knees, hips, and thighs. All of that work that we've already done. Notice how that feels. Now I'm going to take a slightly wider stance. My feet are probably just slightly wider than my hips. I'm going to keep my knees soft, and I'm going to come back to those shoulder circles, just one at a time, moving however feels good to me right now. So it's a real organic movement. There's no rules here. There are no rules here. You might decide, hey, I want to lean side to side, or I want to, make it bigger with my elbow, or I want to do backstroke. That's fine. All of these are possible. Just bringing some motion into the whole body. Maybe let your head go with the shoulders, or maybe let the head be still as the shoulders move. And then start to make whatever movements that you are making a little bit smaller. And we're going to come back to stillness. Now, let's soften into our knees a little bit. I'm turning to the side here so that you can see. You can also keep your hand, one or both, on the chair. And we're just going to do a little rebounding. Just a gentle bouncing. My feet are just firm on the floor. And I'm doing a little bouncing with my knees. And the rest of my body kind of bounces along too. Hydrating all of that fascia. You might want to shake one hand. Wave it, shake it around, shake it in front, shake it behind, shake it up, shake it down, switch to the other side. Now, again, you can have one hand or both hands on the chair. It's fine. Just lots of options for everybody. Maybe do both hands forward, both hands back, both hands up, both hands wide, in front. We're just kind of having fun here. What happens if we shake one leg and one hand, or one leg and both hands, however you want to do that, and then switch to the other leg? Lots of options here. This is a good chance to use the wall, right? If we lean against the wall, we can shake both hands, one leg. There's not going to be a shake both hands, both legs. Don't worry. Find all of that movement, and then make our way to stillness. Notice how that feels, right? Here's a pause. That's kind of like it mirrors our day. Lots of busyness, and then we find that stillness. Now I'm going to take a slightly wider stance, and we're going to do that empty coat sleeves move, where we gently turn and the hands tap the body. They might be tapping the hip and the back. And right now I'm keeping my head pretty straight ahead, but I could go with the shoulders, keeping the eyes open. You might want to tap on front of the collarbones with that front hand. And then let those hands come back down, slow it down, and come to stillness, bringing the feet back together. Take a breath here. Okay. Now I'm going to take a wide stance, comfortably wide. I still feel very stable in my stance. If I'd like, I can put this chair in front of me to use to support me. So I'd be standing like this, or again, wall behind me is a nice solution as well. Toes are straight ahead, and I feel very stable in this stance. I'm going to start with this arm, and we're going to go back to that breath sequence that we did seated. So as we inhale, we're going to reach that arm up, And the exhale will float it down, engaging those abdominal muscles. Sometimes it helps me to put my hand here and notice it. Try again. Inhale. We'll stay for 2 breaths. Stay here for the exhale. Inhale, maybe reach a little farther. And exhale, float the arm down. 3 breaths. Now we're moving slowly, not with momentum. We're using those abdominal muscles on the exhales. On the inhales, we're reaching through fingertips and reaching down through our heel. And then we'll exhale with control all the way back down. Last round, 4 breaths. Float that arm all the way back down on that 4th and final exhale. Pause and notice how that feels. So for me, this side feels a lot longer than this side. But we will even that out. This is the hand that we're going to use now. Let's take our first one. The inhale reaches that arm up. We find where we want to be with the arm. As we exhale, we engage those abdominal muscles and float the arm back down. So even as the arm is reaching, this heel is pushing down. The whole foot is pushing down. 2 breaths. Float it down. 3 breaths. Now 4 breaths. And on that 4th and final exhale, whenever that is, float that arm down with control. Notice how the body feels. And then we'll bring those feet back together, make any movements that you need to feel good within the body. And then we'll come back to our wide stance. And this time we're going to make our way to a warrior 2. So right now I have that comfortably wide stance again. I'm turning my right toes out to the right. And my left toes are in slightly, and I'm going to bend that front knee. So I'm coming into a warrior 2. Now in this case, right, our arms are going to be long. This is our warrior 2. That chair might be in front of me, and I can put my hand, one hand on it. I could put both hands on it. So that's up to you. If you're not using that chair for support, let's take our arms wide, and you see that I've got floppy wrists right here. Now I have my shoulders over my hips, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. And as I inhale, I'm going to imagine that I'm blowing up my fingers, my palms, my wrists. The fingers extend. And as I exhale, all of that softens again and the fingers flop down. Very slowly. Let's try it again. We're going to do one last breath here. This time as you exhale, soften the fingers, soften the arms very slowly, straighten the front leg. Yes. Now we'll turn the toes straight ahead. Noticing sensations there. The arms did a lot of work simply by holding those arms up for those slow breaths. We're going to go the other way. Left toes out, right toes in slightly. We find our warrior 2. My knee is over my ankle. Shoulders are over the hips. My hips are kind of turned square to the camera here. Again, we could have our hands, one or both, on the back of the chair. We find our warrior two arms with the floppy wrists. Let's exhale. And then let's begin. Inhale, fill it up like you're inflating the wrists, the palms, the fingers. Exhale, softens. Last one. As we exhale, we soften the fingers, the palms, the wrists. We straighten the leg. Turn those toes straight ahead. And let's very gently walk those feet back together. Pausing to notice sensation. Okay, so we did a lot of side to side stuff. We'll do something now to bring everything back into symmetry. Again, you might want to use the wall behind you. Might want to use a chair in front of you. I'm just going to stand at an angle so you can see a little bit better. As we inhale, we're going to reach those arms forward and up into what I call the volcano pose. So it's a tall spine with those lower ribs in. It is not a back bend here. Tall spine, crown of the head reaches for the ceiling. Arms can be really wherever they feel best for you. They might be here, or here, or here, or anywhere in between. The inhale is going to take those arms up into our volcano pose, and all of those volcanoes look a little bit different. As we exhale, we're going to soften into the knees, start to hinge forward from the hips. Float the arms back, palms are down, thumbs are out, little airplane pose. Now, push into the feet, reach those arms forward and up. Here's your volcano, tall spine, ribs are in, lower abdominals. In, exhale. Very slowly. So we're not using momentum. We're not giving in to gravity. Let's do one more up and down. And we'll finish by coming in to our volcano pose. And float those arms back down by your side. Pause, take a moment to see how all of that feels, how it's all settling in the body. And we're going to make our way back to our chair now. So again, I don't like you to move furniture. Walk around to the other side if that's what it takes. Keep your block close by, but we're not going to use it quite yet. We're going to sit towards the edge right now. So sitting towards the edge, feet on the ground. Feet on the ground, very connected to the earth. So we feel this, right? Push into your feet. Sit up a little taller. Push into the sitting bones. Sit up a little taller. We'll take our arms forward, palms up, almost like we're offering something or receiving something. Let's take an inhale here. And as we exhale, I'm going to twist to my left, bringing my right hand across to my left shoulder. And then the inhale brings me back to center. Exhaling in the other direction. And then return. Now, let's pause for a moment, put the hands back down. That's the movement. What I'd like us to do is to add a pause at the end of that exhale when you're in the twist. It's a beat. It doesn't have to be a full second even. Just a count, that's all. So let's give it a try. Arms are forward. Connect to the earth, connect to the chair. Take an inhale. As we exhale, we twist to the left, bringing right arm across. Exhale completely. Pause. Inhaling back through center. Let the exhale take you in the other direction. Left hand over to right shoulder. Pause. Inhale. Exhale. Pause at the end of the exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, other direction. Pause. Inhale, one more in each direction. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Float the arms down in your lap. Take a circle with those shoulders and let's slide back in our chair, connecting our feet to the earth. Let's turn the palms up in the lap. Even though we can rest our back on the back of the chair, let's continue to sit up tall, right? So we don't want to be slumped here, but we want to be lifting those ribs out of the hips. The invitation is to soften or close your eyes. Allow your breath to come naturally. And take a moment to check in with the effects of this pause, right? We took a pause in the middle of our busy day. How do we feel now? Very gently, blink open your eyes if they're closed. And turn the head first in one direction and then the other. Return to center. Slide to the edge of your chair with the feet on the floor again, connecting again to the earth. Bring palms together at heart center, letting the thumbs rest on the sternum. Tuck your chin and thank yourselves for taking time to practice yoga today. Thank yourself for taking time to press pause, to hit that pause button. And as always, thank you for allowing me to guide you. Stay well, my friends. I'll see you again soon.